All right, back to it this week. Nothing but ailerons. This is me doing some of the marking and trimming for those stiffeners. I have picked up a trick along the way where I'll use that blue Sharpie marker to make the final lines for what's supposed to be cut off, and then I'll use the grinder here on the other tool bench to be able to grind down to that blue mark being gone. That way you're final sizing each one of those stiffeners to the exact same size using the same index point for that blue Sharpie marker. So it's a trick that I use. It may not be for everybody, but it seems to work out pretty well for me. And then deburring along the way and dimpling on the wall along the way, getting the stiffeners dimpled up, and then getting ready for dry fitting those rivets. As usual, trying to preserve that blue vinyl on the outside face of each skin, both the top and bottom skin for the left and right aileron, and then deburring, so trying to preserve that blue vinyl so that it doesn't get dinged up and scratched up while it's waiting for final assembly. And then scuffing the inside face of the skins, getting ready for the trailing edge to accept that Pro Seal, so I get a nice bond with the Pro Seal when it's all said and done, and then getting that cleaned up. This is nothing but dimpling the skins, same thing as usual for getting ready for preloading the rivets so that I can rivet those in place with the stiffeners and the outboard and inboard ribs. I did notice something when I was working on this. The inboard and outboard ribs seem to want to warp the skin pretty badly. So what I ended up doing was taking clecos and holding those ribs nice and firm to the skins when I was riveting those in place. Every other cleco rivet type thing seemed to work out much better. It kept everything nice and flush, skin face to the rib face. You'll notice that I'm riveting all of this with the squeezer instead of back riveting. A long time ago I bought a 5.5-inch yoke for the squeezer. This is a really good opportunity to use it, and in my opinion the squeezer usually generates better end quality results than the back riveting technique does, so I use the squeezer. The only downside is when you put that giant yoke on that squeezer, that tool ends up being, I don't know, somewhere between 12 and 15 pounds, so when you hold that thing for about an hour or so it gets a little fatiguing, but I still think the end quality result is worth a little bit of fatigue so that you end up with nice clean rivets all the way throughout. So used the squeezer on all of those, was very happy with how it turned out obviously, and then started that dry fit process to get everything built back up again. I did notice that it was a little difficult to get that bottom skin on. I had better luck getting the bottom skin clecoed to the nose ribs and then clecoing to the spar instead of trying to cleco to the spar first. So seemed to work out pretty good. And then this is me just doing the alignment checks before I installed that VA140 trailing edge and got that marked up so that I could trim it later when I took everything apart. And the last bit here is nothing but doing the final drilling for that trailing edge.